Hey, Coach Forbes, how do you do?
How you doing?
I'm okay. Let's see, where are you at? Are you in Johnson City now, or?
Yeah, we got back late last night. We actually almost got stranded and we
Oh, no.
made it through.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that here. Let me put you on right now here, okay?
All right.
Well, we had no top of the hour sportscast. We are on 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities. Got something better, though. That means we can go right into one of the hot coaches in college basketball, winning 8 of his last 9. Steve Forbes is the head basketball coach of the East Tennessee State Buccaneers, coming off a surprisingly easy victory, I think, against the Mercer Bears, who a lot of people were thinking as one of the contenders in the SoCon, and probably still will be. Now, I know in this game, you really shot the lights out of the rock. What was the key to having such a successful day from the field against the Mercer Bears, head coach Steve Forbes?
Well, you're right. It was a really good win, and I think a lot of it had to do with our defense. We scored a lot of points off our defense, and we only gave up 39% field goal percentage to a team that's averaging almost 49% from the field as a team, shooting over 40% from three. So I thought our defense led to a lot of offense. Now, on the offensive end, they played a lot of zone. We moved the ball well and made open shots. We made 10 threes. Shot 55% from three. So when you do that and you guard like we did, you're going to have a pretty good chance to win.
This seemed to be something of a come-out game for Jalen McLeod. He had a lot of success in the field, scored 22 points, and it came after one of his, after a family member that he was very close to, a 23-year-old cousin, passed away. I was going to say, when did you hear about that tragedy of a family member passing away, dying young, as the coach? When did the team hear about this?
Well, it was about 2 days ago, right before practice. Jalen came in. He was visibly upset, and I asked him what was going on, and he told me. Then his mother reached out to me while we were in practice, so I knew it was 2 days ago. And, it was a tough situation for him. A cousin of his, 23 years old, unexpectedly, she passed away, and, he took it, as anybody would, he took that very hard. And, I was very proud of him. Not just by the way he played, but the way, he battled through some personal tragedy.
Yeah, it speaks very well. I mean, and there are many times where we hear about, games. I can remember Brett Favre playing very well after his father had passed away and such, and it brings back memories of that. Now, I did want to ask, is Jalen an only child, and maybe some of the cousins are a little closer to him? Is that the case? Or?
No, he's not an only child. He's a big family,
Okay.
Dallas, Fort Worth area, really close. Got a lot of family in North Carolina, too, which helped us get him when he thought about changing, when he transferred. So, no, he's not the only child. He comes from a pretty good-sized family.
Okay, I know that you're in the middle of a 3-game road trip, Steve Forbes, head coach of ETSU, but you're back in Johnson City, and you told me because of the weather and all this, it was a little bit difficult getting from Macon back to Johnson City. What's the story there?
Yeah, it was a struggle, and I give all the credit to our bus driver, Bill. He was the real MVP last night. We left Macon probably around 4:35. Everything was pretty good. We was getting some rain in Atlanta. Got over towards Greenville, Spartanburg, and started to freeze. Mm-hmm. And by the time we got to Hendersonville, North Carolina, the interstate and the highway were both closed. So we had to pull off for a couple hours, and we sat in an Ingles supermarket parking lot in the bus for that. And I thought maybe we were going to have to spend the night on the bus. And then we decided to make some arrangements to go back to Spartanburg and spend the night. When we got out to the interstate looked like it was open. So we started to go north again and got up around Asheville, but had to go. It was blocked around Asheville, so we had to go around Biltmore area. We got back out on 26 and were able to make it through the Sam's Gap and got home by about 12:30 this morning.
Well, Coach Forbes, I have to tell you that I can remember going on that route from Columbia to Hendersonville area back before 26 was built in, let alone what most people around here can remember when 23 was a 2-lane road going to North Carolina and there was no Interstate 26. But nevertheless, that brings back memories of some ETSU history when Ed DeChillis once on a recruiting trip had to spend the night in a friendly truck driver's tractor trailer because he was snowed in on I-40. So, but we're glad that you're back here.
Well, our bus driver, Bill, has got a lot of experience because last year we were going to Moorhead, and I said something about going up there, and he goes, yeah, I used to bring the team up here when we were in the OVC, and I said, I didn't even know East Tennessee State used to be in the OVC. So, my bus driver, he got a ton of experience, and he was the MVP last night getting us home.
1968 OVC champions went to the Sweet 16, beat Murray State in the in the conference final here. We're talking to Steve Forbes, head basketball coach at ETSU. I don't know. I know that sometimes we hear about pro football teams. They got to go to the coast, and then they stay out to the coast if they're an East Coast team, or vice versa, that sort of thing. This is a 3-game trip. School is out. Was there by any chance any way that maybe you could have stayed on the road from Macon to Birmingham this week, or was that never in the cards?
We talked about it, Marky. First of all, to be honest with you, that's an expenditure. It's going to cost a lot more money.
Yeah.
Stay on the road.
Sure.
Hotel and food, and I think we all like to be home and in our bed, and we can work out today, and then we can work out tomorrow, and then leave on Wednesday, tomorrow's Tuesday, right? So we'll work out tomorrow. We'll work out again Wednesday before we leave. It's just a lot more convenient. Now, obviously, when we go to Birmingham, we'll stay on the road to play chat. But, just based on just time and money, I felt like it was the best decision to come home.
Yeah, and it is a long time, Sunday to Thursday, for between Samford and Mercer and such. You like the way you shot. I got to say, have to like the ability of Bo Hodges to heal. He was kind of iffy day to day, that sort of thing. Comes back with 12 points. Doesn't show a lot of from what I could see, favoring of his knee or anything. Tell us, Bo Hodges, he's been a comer this year. What has the development of Bo Hodges meant to your basketball team this year?
I think it's meant everything. I think him and Mladen both are well beyond their age as far as, especially defensively. A lot of times, Marky, kids that are young just don't really understand concepts defensively, how to play and how to defend and help the helper, help each other, be in the right spot. And those two guys have done a remarkable job in that area. And I've said this before to you, Bo has done something that's hard for any kid to do, let alone his age, is play 2 positions on offense, have to learn 2 positions. And he's done that, and he's meant everything to the development of our team, especially